it's time to talk medic. He's, in many respects, going to be the most important class in any Team Fortress competitive team. This is going to be a beginner's Highlander guide to the medic. This will also apply to 6s, but my focus here is Highlander. Let's go. First thing you have to do is have the correct gear. Looking at the medic loadout, it's pretty simple. Unlike most of the other classes, there aren't a whole lot of good options here. Your primary is always going to be the Crusader's crossbow. It's much more useful than any of the syringe guns, and it lets you heal your team from far away, and in many cases it's faster to quickly heal someone with the crossbow than it is with your medigun. The other easy one is your melee weapon. Nearly all meds use the Uber saw. It allows you to quickly get Uber if you do get caught into a situation where you have to hit someone. Obviously you want to avoid that, but if you do happen to survive a melee fight, it means you come out of it with Uber. It also means that people are going to be more tentative about getting right in your face in case they give you Uber. Some meds sometimes use the amputator. You can quickly pull it out to heal yourself while you're running away. It's a small heal, but it can help. I personally usually use the Uber saw. Then the actually tricky decision is which medigun to use. This is nearly always going to be the medigun. However, you absolutely will sometimes be using the Kritzkrieg and occasionally the quick fix. I'm going to do another video later talking about how to choose which medigun to use because it is a very complex decision. But the general guide is, if it's attack defend, use the medigun. If it's king of the hill, use the Kritzkrieg. As the medic, your main goals are these. Build Uber as quickly as possible. Stay safe. You don't ever die so that you don't lose that Uber and that your team keep getting healed. And finally, keep your team alive. Let's talk about how we're going to be doing all of that. First up, healing. This is going to be the introduction to healing. More advanced healing video will follow later, but this will get you a very long way with just a few little tips. You can look at this in a selfish way. If you're healing effectively, you're usually healing in the way that builds you the most Uber. Healing more damaged players gives you more Uber, so if you heal the weak players and the players who take damage, you build Uber faster. There's another element to consider, which is called crit heals. Players who haven't taken damage recently heal way faster. So if someone is near you who hasn't taken any damage in a while, heal them and it'll heal them way faster. That way you build Uber quicker and they get their health quicker and can get back into a fight. So here's a few rules you can follow to make sure you're always healing in a useful way. If you're in combat, try and heal the most forward player that you can safely heal. Whoever's right at the front, currently fighting. However, don't heal them if they're overextending and it's not safe for you to be there. Remember, one of your core objectives here is to stay alive so that you don't lose the Uber charge you've been building up. Healing this guy will make sure that you're healing someone who's taking damage, and thus you're building Uber quicker, and it means you're healing someone who really needs it and is doing something useful. But just remember, your life is more important than his. This is usually going to be your demo man. Sometimes it'll be someone else, like your sniper or other members of your combo. If that guy is critically hurt, he's going to step back, someone else will step up and you heal them instead, until you've run out of good people to heal, at which point you're going to be backing out, healing up everyone and going back in. Let's talk about heals out of combat. You're somewhere safe, you're regrouping perhaps. Your first goal here is to buff classes who want to leave quickly and go and do something else. So in Highlander, that's your scout, your solly, and your spy. Then you heal your combo, the guys who are always with you. Your demo man, your heavy, your pyro. When it comes to players who are hurt, heal the player with the lowest HP first when you're out of combat. That way you're building more Uber quicker, and that guy probably can't afford to do anything while he's really low, so healing him first is better than healing someone with medium health, because they might be able to survive something. The last big piece of healing advice is don't just pocket your heavy. Your other classes are just as important. Heavy also already has loads of health. He doesn't need your heals as much as you would think. However, on the other hand, the heavy does have a huge amount of health, which means he has a big buffer for the amount of overheal he can get, which means he's always there if you don't have anyone better to heal, and can give you Uber by healing him. But anyway, your main focus for heals is usually going to be your demo or sniper or whoever else is trying to push out. If you just heal your heavy, that means that the only person who can be pushing forward is your heavy, and he's not the best class for that. And lastly, don't forget to heal your Engie. He often needs your health when he's wrangling. Plus, he's another class who you can heal, get more Uber if everyone else is already in overheals. Okay, that covers healing. Let's move on to perhaps the most important part of Medic and Team Fortress in general. Ubers. Ubers are what are going to let your team take new ground and win the game. First off, an important note about Ubers. You're using Ubers to prevent taking damage. You're not using it to save people. So, you don't want to milk your Ubers and wait till the last possible moment. You want to Uber someone before they take a huge amount of damage. That way you don't have to waste loads of time healing them after a fight. First big tip. Always call out your Uber percentage occasionally so the rest of your team know whether they should be preparing to push in or if they should be doing other things. When you're going into a situation to Uber, make sure you know what the target is. If you're the main caller, the guy calling the shots on your team, you will be deciding this. It's usually going to be a sentry. If you're not the main caller, listen to your main caller. And if your main caller isn't telling you what your Ubers are for, make sure you get him to. Otherwise, you're just going to pop your Uber and do nothing helpful, because you're not going to know who you're meant to be Ubering or who you should be flashing, and your Uber's going to be wasted. Next point for using Ubers, get out alive. Ubers only last 8 seconds. If you die right after an Uber, okay, you've used your Uber and probably done something with it, but now your team has no medic, and they aren't going to be able to do anything in the aftermath, and the other team are just going to keep fighting and reclaim the ground you've just tried to take off them with an Uber. If you survive, you also will be building Uber quicker, because you don't have to wait for the respawn time, which is like often the third of the amount of time it takes to build an Uber. Shout out to your team when you're running out of Uber, at which point you're getting out of the fight, you're running away. If they stay in, that's their fault, they're dead. You need to get back to safe ground. So use the last few seconds of invincibility to get somewhere safe. And finally, the last golden rule of Ubers and Medic in general is pop it, don't drop it. I know you probably heard this a lot, but all the time I see in competitive, medics are so tentative to waste their Ubers if they're being attacked at a bad moment that they just die when they have 100%. There's no point in doing that. If you know you're going to be killed, pop your Uber and just use it on whatever you can and try and do some damage with it instead of dying. And then you can build another Uber faster anyway than if you had just died. So absolutely pop your Ubers, don't drop them. That's basically it for this guide. There's a huge amount more to Medic, but I feel like these points are going to get you a very long way. I'll be following up with a advanced healing video and an advanced Ubers video, so look out for those. Also, please do check out my general Highlander introductory video. Knowing what everyone is trying to do in Highlander is going to help you an awful lot knowing what you should be doing as your team's Medic. Thanks so much, and I hope this was helpful.